South Football Coaches Football Media Teleconference. This is Mark Simpson of the Big South Conference moderating today's call. And just a few general announcements before we begin. For those joining our call, your lines will begin on mute. You will be able to unmute yourself when you enter the question queue, but to help with limiting background noise, you'll stay on mute while our coaches are speaking. You can unmute your own lines, like I said, as you enter the question queue, and I can help control that as well. Coaches will make an opening statement. They'll have about 10 minutes duration for each segment. While they are speaking, you may enter the question queue at any time by pressing *1. At the end of each statement, we'll begin our Q&A session, and I'll go in order as they are in the question queue. The call is being audio streamed live on the Big South Network, and as well as being recorded, and will be available for playback later this afternoon on BigSouthSports.com. And a few announcements before we begin with our first coach. This past week, from week 1, our players of the week, the honorees were, our Choice Hotels Offensive Player of the Week was D'Angelo Henderson from Coastal Carolina. The Defensive Player of the Week was Liberty's Chima Uzoehi. Our Special Teams Player of the Week was Coastal Carolina kick returner Devin Brown. And the Crons Brand Freshman of the Week was Charleston Southern linebacker Solomon Brown. Other notes to pass along, the Big South returns to the top of the national rankings as Coastal Carolina is number 1 in the FCS coaches poll. We had a record-tying 4 teams open the season at 1-0 this past Saturday and last Thursday as well. Kennesaw State made its Big South history, made its gridiron debut in Big South history fashion. More on that a little later. Gardner-Webb's Tyrell Maxwell became the first Big South player with 100 rushing yards and 100 passing yards against an FBS opponent. Liberty's Josh Woodrum and Coastal's Alex Ross continue to chase for Big South career records. Presbyterian College's Donnell Williams is on the cusp of the Big South's 300 tackle club. He needs one more to reach 300. Coastal Carolina's Devin Brown became the league's all-time leader for kickoff return touchdowns. He had his 4th this past Saturday. Liberty's Chima Uzoehi, he's on the verge of the Big South's career sack record, standing 1 full sack away from tying, 1.5 or more from breaking. And John Lunsford of the Flames, he extended his Big South record for most field goals from 50 yards or longer, hitting his 9th career this past Saturday, a 52-yarder against Delaware State. So with that, we'll bring in our coaches. Our first coach, as always, is Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
Doing fine. The Running Bulldogs with a nice effort down in South Alabama, falling just by 10 points, 33-23, had a lead in the third quarter. If you can open up, talk about that game, then we'll start taking questions and talking about Saturday's opponent, Elon.
Okay. Well, we certainly, we take it serious to represent the Big South in the right way, regardless of who we're playing, and we got some things done and in a positive manner down there, but we shot ourselves in the foot. And if you're going to play up at that level against Sun Belt, certainly you got to play as mistake-free as you can. We had a lot of individuals that we needed to find out about with some young guys. We did find out some about our guys. We certainly need to continue to grow our young players, especially offensively. And then we had some veterans that were returning that had to get used to game speed, and it took us a little bit to get for the game to slow down for us down there, as I anticipated it might. And then once we settled down, we played a little bit better football and gave ourselves some opportunities, as you said. Took the lead late in the third quarter with an interception touchdown, and but in the end, we turned the football over on short field, and we had 4 big plays that hit us that turned to be our demise. You certainly can't have big plays get away from you. Got to continue to work on fundamentals. We had some missed tackles that put us in a bind and gave them some big plays offensively. But came out of it fairly healthy. Was able to find out some things about our football team, and now see if we can improve us as we head into a home contest against Elon this week.
All right, thank you, Coach. At this time, we'll start taking questions for Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray. To enter the question queue, please press *1 on your phone, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser, and click raise hand if you join us via the web. Coach, while we're waiting for some questions, if you could talk about the Elon Phoenix a little bit. The first meeting in the schools since Elon was in the league in 2002. So just your initial thoughts so far.
Well, I have a lot of familiarity with Elon because I was at Furman, when they were in the Southern Conference, and they got a second-year head coach, and Rich was there as an assistant coach when I was assistant at Furman. So I've coached against him. He's a fine football coach in his second year. We're in our 30s in his second year, and certainly on the video with them playing against Wake Forest, certainly they've made improvements in their program since his arrival back from Ball State. But they played Wake Forest last Thursday night, and I think they're a very similar team to the Running Bulldogs. They're more experienced defensively than they are offensively. They have quite a bit of experience defense up front, some big, good-looking kids on their defensive line, and some really, big corners and safeties that can make plays for them. So I think that, defensively, they're leaning on them right now because they have more game experience. Offensively, they really played a lot of guys. They played two quarterbacks, a redshirt freshman and a freshman. They played a lot of true freshmen even up front on their offensive line, along with their running backs. And, Coach played a whole lot of people last week. So I think similar teams, youthful on offense, more veteran on defense. They certainly really caught my eye with special teams. A lot of their runners and hitters, are on their kickoff and their punt team. They really contest points, on all sides of the ball and in the kicking game. And, I think it'll be a good contest with two teams very similar trying to find out about themselves in game two. So certainly got a lot of respect for them as they move conferences up the road, along the northeastern seaboard there. And but they got Rich back in place over there, and certainly he's going to put them, I think, in position where they were when Coach Limbo and those guys were there together, and where they had some really good football teams. So it should be a good contest. I think it'll come down similar to what it was the other night. Can you win the special teams? Who can take care of the football? And who can, stop big plays from one side or the other. And I'm hoping we'll see a great improvement in our football team and those fundamental things that allow you to win as we head into this week.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll now move the questions for you. Our first questions will come in from a media member based in the Greensboro area with a 336 area code. Don't have a name, so if you can introduce yourself before your questions to Coach, you can go right ahead to begin.
Hey, Carroll, it's Adam Smith from the Times News in Burlington. Hope you're doing well. The delays you had, the lightning delays you had down there in Mobile the other night, how did you try to handle those, and what kind of effect did you see just out of those two things?
Well, first of all, the first lightning delay hit us in warm-ups, and we were a pretty anxious football team, trying to get out there and find out about our guys. So that delayed us a little, and didn't have too much effect on the team. We had not gotten into warm-ups very much. They came out and hit us with speed pretty early, and we did not handle it very well adjusting to the game. The second lightning delay kind of played in our favor. When we came out of there, we used it as a halftime adjustment period for us just to calm the kids down. And when we came back out, I thought we were a little more ready for the speed that they were throwing at us. We performed a little better defensively. They were up 13-0, and then offensively we had settled down just a little bit and were able to start making some plays. So, certainly can be a distraction, and this time of year I guess we can expect it almost anywhere we go. But the second one actually turned out to be a little benefit for us because we need to calm our kids down and get back out there and see if we'd focus a little bit more and fight better for us.
What did you see out of Maxwell, your quarterback? That was his first start, obviously. What did you like, and what did you not like?
Well, I saw a lot of the things that I thought I would see. He's an athletic kid that can get some yardage with you with his legs. He allows you to, snap the football and play with 11 instead of having, a guy that hands the ball off. He can be a threat in the run game. I had seen improvement in his pass game last couple of weeks in summer camp. He really worked hard on some throwing things, he and Coach Nichols, and I think we saw some improvement in those things. We certainly still got a long way to go, but I thought overall his poise in the football game was good. We had 2 delay games that certainly I got to do a better job from my end, making sure we don't get penalties there, and then hopefully he'll continue to grow to make sure we get the ball snapped on time. But overall, I thought he managed the game. I thought he had pretty good calmness, and I thought he had some comfortability in some young players that were surrounding him. I thought he stood in the pocket a little bit better, made one great throw to Mike Estes, our tight end, down the sideline with pretty good pressure on him. But overall, I thought he had a good first performance, and we're going to need him to continue to improve each and every week for us to have success.
You said in your opening you found out a lot of things about your team. What were some of those things?
Well, I thought we had some young players that settled down, and they were able to focus in a pretty tough environment for us. So I was pleased with the young guys. They certainly made some mistakes, but I thought we found out that, if we'll keep coaching them and keep working fundamentals, I hope they'll grow as we go, is kind of our motto there with some young guys. We got to play a lot of guys. I thought we showed we're in pretty good conditioning because it was very hot and humid, and our guys we lost a few guys for a play or two, but we came back and were able to come back and play. I thought all the mistakes that we made were correctable. Looks like all the guys that we played will have opportunity to continue to grow and get better each and every week. So I thought there were positives. The negative plays were very, very negative. And, we found out we're really going to have to hone in and really bear down and improve our special teams quite a bit with some young guys headed into our second week. We weren't as crisp and sharp. I thought our kickers did pretty good, but we had some coverage things that we got to get a whole lot better, as well as our return team. So a lot of work still to do, but I was not discouraged by anybody as far as their effort or the talent that we do have. I think we can continue to grow and see if we can improve as we get through the season. Yeah.
Okay, Carroll. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Adam. And looks like we don't have any other questions for you, Coach, but I will make one last call in case someone did enter the queue and I'm not seeing it. Any final questions for Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray?
Yeah, right here, Mark.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Damien Sorlett with the News in Advance. Carroll, how are you doing this morning?
Fine, Damien. How are you?
Doing well. I was going to expand on what you said about Tyrell, and I guess trying to get him more of a pocket passer instead of the run threat. And how do you see him embrace that role over the offseason and carry that into the first game with the 100 yards passing, 100 yards rushing, and being able to move the offense and have some poise back there and trying to develop into a pocket passer?
Well, I think he did have poise, and I think in the end, we're going to be more of a hopefully we're going to be more of a run play action team than we are a pocket passer. But I did see him grow in his confidence, and in the line and the backs protecting him. For the most part, we kept him upright in the pass game all day. To be honest with you, I thought maybe he had to carry the ball in the run game a little bit more than I wished he had, but he's certainly very, very capable. But he's been a real studier of the game. He's worked extremely hard. He's up at the offices studying film a whole lot, certainly understanding that, he's the guy. And, after the game, he said, look, Coach, I got a lot to improve on. But I enjoyed playing and realizing that, even though I played last year, it's a whole different ball game when you got to manage the game and you got to play every snap. So I think he grew. I'm hoping we'll see a lot more growth out of him this week, and I hope we'll see, a few errant throws that'll correct themselves, and he'll be on the mark, and we can really see what he will be able to do as we push into game 2 and then 3 and 4 in the next couple of weeks before open date.
Thank you, Carroll. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Damien.
Thank you.
And, Coach, I'm not seeing any other questions, so we'll let you go.
Okay, Mark, I appreciate that. Good luck to all the Big South teams this week.
All right, thank you, and good luck Saturday against Elon.
Okay, thanks.
All right.